The Queen has passed away peacefully this afternoon at the age of 96. King Charles III is now the new monarch of the United Kingdom. The NDSU Study Abroad program put on Go Global this afternoon, inviting local food trucks selling international foods outside of the Memorial Union. We also took a look on what Study Abroad is all about. Bison Robotics are back at it for another year. They had their first annual meeting of the semester this Tuesday. NDSU football had their home opener last Saturday. With a troubling start, the Bison still came out on top. Welcome back to the Bison Information Network. I'm Malik Mitchell, and we are back giving you your weekly campus news. Stay tuned. Breaking news earlier today, Queen Elizabeth II has passed away after a second-year reign of the United Kingdom. Corey Hartle has more on the story.
It's a sad day for the United Kingdom as well as the rest of the world. Earlier today, the flag at Buckingham Palace was lowered to half-mast, marking the end of an era as Queen Elizabeth II has passed away at the age of 96. Although her cause of death has not yet been released, Buckingham Palace issued a statement saying, "The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon." Leaders from across the world have been sending their condolences, including Liz Truss, the new Prime Minister of the UK as of Tuesday.
Queen Elizabeth II was the rock on which modern Britain was built. Our country has grown and flourished under her reign. Britain is the great country it is today because of her.
President Joe Biden also released a statement saying, "Today, the thoughts and prayers of people all across the United States are with the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth in their grief. We send our deepest condolences to the royal family, who are not only mourning their queen, but their dear mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother." The Queen took the throne in 1952 when Harry Truman led the United States and Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister. King Charles III is now the new king, and the UK will enter a 12-day period of mourning. However, the world will not soon forget the incredible legacy that the Queen leaves behind. From Bison Information Network, I'm Corey Hartle.
Bison Robotics had their first annual meeting of the semester this Tuesday. Competing in competitions and holding multiple volunteer opportunities, I took a look at what the Bison Robotics Club is all about. The Robotics Club had their first annual meeting of the semester this Tuesday. This organization applies engineering skills, knowledge, and principles to build competitive robots. Bison Robotics volunteers at 5 robotic competition regional events. Anonymous Snowplow, Combat Robotics, NASA Robotic Mining, RI3D, and Vex Robotics are the 5 projects they build for competitions. The first LEGO League and Tech Challenge tournaments are hosted at NDSU.
At Bison Robotics, we just have 5 different projects kind of all going together, and we are just kind of a collection of those. We've got anything from a NASA project to go on the moon, quote unquote. And then we've got an autonomous snowplow and robot in 3 days, where we build a robot in 72 hours. And a Vex Robotics group, which is basically a continuation of the middle school / high school Vex Robotics, but ramped up for college. And then a Combat Robotics, which is basically scaled down battle bots. So that's a lot of fun. And then we have plenty of service opportunities here as well. We go out and volunteer at the high school level, the middle school level, and just kind of wherever we can in the community. Yeah, so we've got these large group meetings, which is what's happening tonight, every other Tuesday at 6:30 here in Ag Hill 234. People can join. They can join MyNDSU. Otherwise, if you find somebody who knows about it, we have a Discord that is the most active. But if you're on MyNDSU, you'll receive the emails that will kind of give you all the notifications that you'll need for these large meetings. And these large group meetings are great opportunities to just bond with everybody. You don't have to come to them. We've got plenty of projects, but they're a great option to learn about those projects if you're not familiar. And then we also have fun activities coming along. Like next week, we've got an egg drop. And so just kind of fun engineering activities.
If you passed by the Union earlier today, you may have noticed some food trucks as part of the Go Global Festival put on by the NDSU Study Abroad. Reporter Corey Hartle has more on the visit of the festival and find out what Studying Abroad is all about.
Earlier today, the Go Global Festival took place outside of the Union. The event was put on by the Study Abroad office and contained food trucks serving food from around the world. The festival also gave students a chance to get henna, have their name written in another language, and learn about different opportunities for studying abroad. Lauren Aldrink, a student at NDSU, got the opportunity to study abroad as a sophomore in northern Italy.
Personally, I think everybody should study abroad because it changed who I was as a person, and I grew more independently while I was there, and it is something I will never forget.
Although programs are offered all across the world with a variety of cultures, students don't need to know the local language going into it.
The city I went to was really small, so they only really spoke Italian while I was there, but I did learn a little bit of Italian, taking the Italian classes, but my actual classes were in English while I was there.
And as far as advice that Lauren has for students who are considering studying abroad?
Definitely don't worry about the language. The language is no biggie if you don't know it. I knew zero Italian going into it.
And for students that aren't interested in the study abroad side of things, NDSU offers many other opportunities as well.
So there's study abroad, and then there's also going global. And one of the reasons that we moved to going global is because study is one type of experience that you can have abroad, but you can also do internships, you can do service learning, you can do practicums, research, all sorts of things. And so go global is more encompassing. It's also more encompassing of the locations where you don't have to just go abroad. You can also be within the United States and have different cultural experiences as well.
If you missed the festival today but are still interested in studying abroad, you can learn more about different opportunities on their website, or you can stop by their office located near Caribou Coffee in the Union to talk to students and staff.
I don't think I've ever had a student come back and say they wish they wouldn't have studied abroad. I mean, that's one thing. Study abroad is just, it's life-changing no matter what length of program or where you go. And when you think about what you're here in college to do, it's to study and take classes to progress towards your degree, and that's something you can do while also getting an experience abroad.
From Bison Information Network, I'm Corey Hartle.
Posters and postcards are for sale outside of the Memorial Union from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. until Friday. The posters and cards range from different genres. Make sure you grab yourself a piece of art before they're gone. We Take a Stand is an interactive program focused on preventing violence on our campus. In the training, students will learn how to recognize signs of sexual violence, dating violence and stalking, how you can safely intervene if you see a friend or classmate in a potential unhealthy situation, and both local and campus resources. All incoming NDSU, both freshmen and transfer, are required to attend one session. On the 23rd, the Kappa Psi Pharmaceutical Fraternity will be hosting their annual event called Fries with Kappa Psi. This event will be held from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the NDSU Crossroads Lutheran Campus Ministry. Attendees will enjoy French fries with their topping of choice. The tickets to this event are $5 or $4 with a donation of a children's book. All proceeds from this event will be donated to Reach Out and Read, a nonprofit organization that partners with local medical providers to give children's books during their appointments. Looking for a Christian group? Chi Alpha is a Christian fellow group that meets every Thursday in the Amstradi Theater. Their times are 7 and 8 p.m. Coming up next, Rico Aladdin will give you guys your weekly professional lunch with a special guest. Stay tuned.
So usually, when I'm meeting with a business owner, I'm curious to know their relationship with their employee. You know, if they have employees, you know, how do they manage them? What are their leadership style in that sense? That was my line of question. So, I know, you know, I can already see that you are a leader in your, you know, in the business world. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, you know, how do you, you know, what is your leadership style like?
Sure. I think leadership is really important, no matter what level you are. There's ideas of formal leadership, you know, who's got the CEO button and who is sitting at the reception desk. But there are also informal leaders, and they can be at any place. Because as a project manager, I end up assuming a lot of I assume responsibility for every project that I take on. And with that assumption doesn't mean I actually have the authority. However, so the way that I structure our meetings, the way that I structure the work and the communications afters, I think that all contributes to a leadership style, that of being a servant leader. Again, like I extol the greatness of Anita Hopars, and she also is a servant leader, and ends up asserting ourselves in a way that is, I think, authentic to ourselves, that draws out the best in everybody in the room, and is looking, we want to see emergent ideas come out. So it's not ever a top-down kind of decision making. We want to see from the collection of the people in the room, how can we best make decisions or bring up ideas to solve a problem.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you know, this show is about helping college students make decisions. So you know, you co-own a business. You know, obviously, I have to ask, what advice do you have for college students right now who one day want to open their own business or co-own a business? So what advice do you have for them?
Well, say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure, say yes. I would say to be open to possibilities. Possibilities can come from a lot of different places that you don't always necessarily maybe will you be surprised? Yeah, you might be surprised by. Making a decision today doesn't mean that you are stuck with that decision in the future.
Absolutely.
And I think at least for me, when I was, as I was in college, I found that, I didn't want to make a decision because, well, I don't want to miss out on something else. What if I take, if I don't get to take government from this guy, then I don't want to miss out on anything. But know that once you make a decision, that you're not actually stuck in that decision, and that decision's just going to help you make other decisions later down the line.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we are going to take another pause here, and when we come back, we will talk about some of the challenges that Rachel faced in her line of work. We'll be right back.
Now for your local news. On Tuesday, 2 people were arrested after authorities say the 2 stole a car and drove through Fargo and West Fargo. Police say they were called about a stolen vehicle that was stopped near Bell Bank around 9:15 a.m. Fargo police with West Fargo police were then able to stop the car and arrest both the driver and a passenger. Their identities have not been released. Last Saturday, 33-year-old Martin Visenizer was arrested after fleeing across the Minnesota and North Dakota border to evade law enforcement. The man fled from police officers after they discovered he had a canceled driver's license at a traffic stop. Police say Visenor fled from officers and took the 12th Avenue Bridge into Fargo. Fargo police eventually found the suspect and arrested him for being a fugitive from justice. Coming up next, we will have sports with Das Menzel. Don't go away.
One kid, one mentor, plus one moment can unlock limitless potential. One heart-to-heart, one inside joke. 30,000 youth are waiting. Be there for one of them. It's time. Become a big today.
The NDSU bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU bookstore and show your spirit today.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
Good evening. The Bison football team kicked off their season this past weekend, and the atmosphere was, like always, intense. Before kickoff, the Bison unveiled their new championship banner, showing their 9th FCS championship in the last 11 seasons. The Fargo faithful were definitely excited to see their Bison back in the Fargo Dome with over 17,000 people in attendance. However, it was Drake who struck first with a 1-yard touchdown pass to running back Dorian Boyland, but that's all the scoring that Drake would be doing for a while, as the Bison struck back on their next drive with a 31-yard touchdown pass from Cam Miller to Zach Mathis. This is Mathis's first touchdown as a Bison in his 5 years that he's played with the team, and it was all Bison from there. Now the special teams, it was their turn to make a play. Jake Cava gets the field goal block here, and it's picked up by Destin Tower, who runs it all the way back for a Bison touchdown to get them up 14-7. And special teams struck again on the next drive. After the Bison defense forced a 3-and-out, the punter kicks the ball to Jaden Price, who returns the ball 66 yards for another Bison touchdown. 2 straight special teams touchdowns to get the Bison up 21-7. And the defense made plays as well. Starting late in the first half, a pass here by the quarterback goes deep and gets picked off by Marquis Siegel, his second career interception, and it ended up turning into another score for the Bison, making it 28-7. Early in the second half, the Bison defense struck again. Dawson Weber, with pressure from the right side, gets the fumble, and the fumble is picked up by Will Mostert. He runs it in for the touchdown. The Bison's first defensive touchdown since 2018, with Jabril Cox getting that score. The Bison ended up routing Drake 56-14 for the final score. The Bison's next game will be this Saturday against North Carolina A&T, back in the Fargo Dome at 2:30. You can watch the game on ESPN Plus or WDAY, or listen to the game on the Bison Radio Network. NDSU soccer faced off against Northern Colorado this past Sunday and lost by a score of 5-0. NDSU was only able to manage 3 shots on the goal, while Northern Colorado kicked 17 shots on the goal. Soccer's next game will be back at Dakota Field tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. The Bison will face off against the University of Wisconsin Green Bay. Volleyball competed at the Sawyer Camelot Memorial Classic in Lafayette, Louisiana. They lost their first game on Friday 3-1 against Louisiana, but won later that night against UTSA, winning 3-0. On Saturday, they lost to UT-RGV 3-0. Volleyball will host the NDSU tournament this weekend, welcoming Chicago State, Central Michigan, and Northern Arizona to Fargo. The North Dakota State men's golf team wrapped up the opening tournament of the season on Monday, holding on to a 5th-place finish in a 13-team field at the Island Resort Intercollegiate at the Sage Run Golf Club. Nate Adams led the way for the Bison on Monday as he fired a 4-under-par round of 68 to climb into a tie for 7th overall, as he finished at 4-under-par for the event. Adams finished the day with 5 birdies and just 1 bogey. Men's and women's golf participated in the NDSU Fall Invitational at the Oxbow Country Club Golf Course in Fargo. The men's team claimed the team title as they pulled away from St. Thomas by 12 shots on day 2 alone, finishing the event at 19 under par. Ian Simonich and Nate Diesel tied for medalist honors with scores of 3 under par. The women's team also took first place by 13 strokes over St. Thomas. Catherine Monty and Elise Hoven tied for first place with scores of 149. The next tournament will be next Monday and Tuesday when they travel to Manhattan, Kansas to participate in the Kansas State Wildcat Invitational. The women's next tournament will be next Monday and Tuesday as well. They will travel to Springville, Utah to participate in the Hobble Creek Invitational. The North Dakota State men's and women's cross-country teams cruised to easy victories at the UND Ron Pinn Classic on Friday afternoon, dominating the season-opening meet at the Ray Richards Golf Course. NDSU sophomore Simon Kaiser captured the first collegiate cross-country title of his career, winning in a time of 17 minutes and 56 seconds for the 6-kilometer course. The Bison men had 8 of the top 9 finishers in the race. Allie Wallen clocked a personal best 17 minutes and 19 seconds for the 5-kilometer course, the 6th fastest 5K time in NDSU cross-country history. The Bison women also swept the top 3 places in the race and had 9 of the top 11 finishers overall. The cross-country teams will compete again tomorrow night at the Dragon Twilight Invitational in Moorhead, Minnesota. Well, that's all for sports. Coming up next, Coy Hartle has your weekly weather outlook.
I'm your friend.
I am your coworker.
I'm your neighbor.
There's no set person that defines who needs help in North Dakota.
I play cards with your grandmother every week.
hunger is becoming more and more widespread and more known, because there are people standing up and saying, hey, this can't happen. We can't be having this in our state, in our community.
I sit next to you in math class.
It's proving that they're learning better and they're not coming to school so hungry on Monday morning. We're engaging them and we're helping them learn. I mean, people want to help their fellow citizens, and in this food bank, in this agency, that is exactly what's happening, is people really, truly care.
I'm here.
I'm here to change the faces.
I'm here to change the faces of hunger.
My name is Addie Stewart, and I graduated from NDSU in the Department of Communication in 2018. My degree was in strategic communication, and I'm the communications specialist for the city of West Fargo. That includes social media, press releases, breaking news, interviews, media relations, and more. I went into communication because I wanted to do something I was passionate about. There were so many opportunities. I knew I could work for nonprofits, government, small business, agency work. Professors in the department definitely impacted me a lot in my life, making sure that once I graduated college, I knew I could get a job here just because of the connections in the department and the great morale that was in Fargo. Future students should definitely come to NDSU because it's a degree like no other here.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bison Information Network. It's great to be back here with you guys. I'm Coy, and I have a look ahead at what we can expect from the forecast for this next week. Starting with tomorrow, it will finally cool off some from this pretty warm week we've had, with the high right around that 70-degree mark. We'll also have about a 15% chance of some rain, so we'll see what happens with that. On Saturday, we'll have some cloud cover, but conditions should clear up enough in the evening for you to check out the harvest moon, which is the closest full moon to the fall equinox. For kicking off the next week, we'll see temperatures right around the low to mid 70s with pretty clear conditions for Sunday and Monday. For the rest of the week, we still aren't looking at much moisture in the forecast, but we will see temperatures in the 70s with lows hanging right around that 50-degree mark. Well, that's all we have for weather this week. If any of you watching at home see any interesting weather in your area, then be sure to grab a photo or video and send it our way. You can submit your photos and videos online at www.ndsubin.com/news. In addition, be sure to follow Bison Information Network on social media to stay up to date with the latest on campus news. Well, that's all for our show today. Thank you all for watching, and have a great night.